Hey everybody, it's GobletX and welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're playing another Jumpstart Historic Horizons event. I have been enjoying this format a ton, so I am planning to play plenty more until we have the return of Tinkerer's Cube drafts on September 3rd. But anyways, for those that are new out there and don't know, Jumpstart is a format where you get two 20-card themed decks that get mashed together to make your own unique deck to play against others who have done the same. So it's a different event every time around, different deck lists and different opponents, all that stuff. And it's a really fun casual format where you spend the 2,000 gold or 400 gems to hop in, grab your packs, get a couple extra rares, and play as much as you want, regardless of the amount of times you win or lose. So, super fun casual event here, and I'm excited to get into some more of it. So we have Scorched Earth. This is a green-red deck that's going to focus around putting some lands in your graveyard. There are a lot of cards that will sacrifice a land to grab a couple more. So those will ramp you up, as well as trigger your cards like Marasu Behemoth to become a big old creature. There's the Merfolk deck, which is pretty self-explanatory. A Merfolk tribal deck with a nice mythic rare Merfolk there on the cover. And the Junkyard deck. This is going to be about scrapping your artifacts. A bunch of artifacts, maybe some ways to bring them back from the grave, and a lot of ways to sacrifice them. So just using your trash as treasure, so to speak. So I'm going to stay on theme here and take the artifact-themed deck, the Junkyard deck. And the other thing is that if you take a dual-colored deck like Scorched Earth, in your first packet, that ties you into those two colors. Your next packets are all just going to be in red or green here, whereas if we take a monocolored packet the first time, our next packets could be in any color. We could get a black packet or a white packet or any of that instead of just red or green ones, so it leaves our options a little more open, a little more random. So Junkyard it shall be. It is an artifact-themed deck that I haven't played yet, so pretty pumped about that. And we do see Scorched Earth again, so I guess we could just go Junkyard Scorched Earth if we want. There's On the Draw, all about drawing a second card each turn, kind of similar to the Throne of Eldraine blue-red draft strategy. But then there's also Plague with a powerful mythic rare, Yawgmoth, Thran Physician, plus then both of our decks, black and red, would have a bit of a sacrifice sub-theme. As you can see, Yawgmoth there can sacrifice creatures to throw -1/-1 counters on stuff and draw cards. So I think the Junkyard Plague is what I shall be playing today. Yawgmoth just seems like a very powerful card. Really nice to have in my collection. So as always, I'm going to hop straight into the gameplay here. Again, since it's a casual format, I'm not super concerned with checking out the whole deck list. I'd prefer to be surprised as I play the game to see what cool cards I've opened up. And here we are on the play. Several black creatures with sacrifice or death triggers. Seems like a really good hand overall. We'll keep it. We do have a turn 1 creature, the Sparring Construct. This one's definitely from the Junkyard deck, because it's just a little artifact that gives you a nice ability when it dies. So our opponent is on blue and red. I probably should have played this Baron more. I'm so used to cycling these cards that I just instinctually kind of played the Mountain so I could just cycle the Baron more to draw something else. But I'm actually probably going to need this as a land. I do want to make it all the way to 6 mana off of this hand here. So Faithless Salvaging, discard a card, draw a card, and it has Rebound, so they'll cast it again in their next upkeep. That's what Rebound does there. Yep, we did not draw a third land, so I really should just played my tapped land turn 2. That is going to mess up our curve quite a bit, because we could have cast any of these 4 cards this turn instead. Marrow Reejery. So they're playing a Merfolk deck in blue, and something with Faithless Salvaging in red. Well, Plaguecrafter seems really good here. Kill their Merfolk Lord. So they aren't buffing all their Merfolk. Mad Ratter. So they're on the Merfolk and the Draw 2 deck. Mad Ratter spits out a couple of rats every time they've drawn 2. We don't have any way to kill that, but we can certainly attack in with a 4-3, and then cast another 4-3 and just get aggressive here with some large creatures. This one will seek a non-land card with mana value 2 or less from each player's library. So we grab one card that fits the criteria at random. We do see that mythic rare Merfolk. That is the kind of face card for the Merfolk strategy. Only gets indestructible if they have 2 other Merfolk, so we just keep attacking here, and any trade that we make is pretty acceptable. And I kind of like casting Treasure Keeper because its ability is really fun. It basically cascades, and when it dies, you grab the first non-land card with mana value 3 or less and cast it for free out of your library. Uh-oh, there's Improbable Alliance, which is a really good draw 2 card because not only does it pay you off when you're drawing 2 cards in a turn by spitting out those 1/1 flyers, it also gives you a consistent way to do that with the 6 mana effect there. Yeah, it's probably worth it to just keep the 3/3 rather than grab a random card. Alright. They're at 7 life here. They can definitely make some blocks now. Mostly chump blocks. I could play a flyer, but that just trades for the 1/1 token, even if I do give it haste. So I think I'm just going to attack all in, and then main phase 2, we're probably casting a Destructive Digger and playing our Forgotten Cave, because we do want to hit 6 mana with this hand. Alright, so they're going to tap down Mana Guardian, and it'll cost 8 mana to untap that in the future, if we ever want to do that. So unlikely we'll ever get there. They are going to go for the triple block on the Plague Crafter and take 3. Alright. So we clear out a lot of the little chump blockers that way. And they're down to 4 now. Sphylen going to keep triggering that draw 2 here, which is really good for them. Suppose there would be an argument there for just holding like the Treasure Keeper back there, only attacking with the Plague Crafter. That way I could stack up a double block on Sphylen. But I liked getting aggressive, and it did put him down to 4 by playing that way. However, it also made sure that Sphylen was going to still be around, and they could just draw another card this turn and get a bunch of chump blockers right back out. I think I attack with just Treasure Keeper now and then cast the Gargantua. If I attack with Destructive Digger, they can just block with 2 1/1 rats, and that seems like a pretty bad deal. Okay, well I already was not going to attack with that one, so I guess that's fine by me. Alright, we get to spin the wheel on the Treasure Keeper and see what we hit. Shambling Goblin. A 1/1 that gives something -1/-1 till end of turn when it dies. Seems pretty fine. And here's our Gargantua. Ooh, Sarkhan's Scorn's a beautiful draw, so that we can clear out that Mad Ratter, because that thing's never going to attack or block. Whereas now we have a creature that is big enough to block Sphylen, so we probably have that under control there. What does this do? Deal damage to any target equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. So it deals 1 damage every time it attacks. Potentially 2 if they've drawn extra cards. So we clear out Sphylen there, which is great. But now they've got some big flyers. Ooh, Archfiend of Sorrows. Creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. So we would clear out everything except like the Thundering Djinn and the Fairy Vandal. So maybe Maybe we have to Sark and Scorn one of those two now, and then we just need one more mana before we can Archfiend of Sorrows to clear out all the tokens. Yeah, I could certainly see that. I think I go for Sark and Scorn on the Djinn here, because it's their biggest flyer, and it's going to start killing some of my creatures while it attacks. They block with 4 toughness. They could block with everything except Fairy Vandal. But other than that, pretty okay with whatever blocks they make here. Yeah, I was going to say they probably just trump block with one thing. Merfolk Falconer. Oh dear. That is another big flyer. 4/4 flyer. Turning into a 5/6 flyer with the Mantle of Tides equipped to it. Fairy Vandal's coming in hot because we don't have good blocks for it. Down to 11. There's the land for Archfiend of Sorrows. Their whole board gets -2/-2. That means they have one blocker that has to block Gargantua and they take 3. Definitely the cast here, because we also have a 4/5 flyer left around after that. They have to chump block Gargantua here or die. So yeah, that also clears out the Merfolk Falconer. Incredible card here, this Archfiend of Sorrows. Definitely a lot of mana to do it, so not really for constructed, but for limited formats like this, Archfiend of Sorrows is pretty impressive. There's the concession from our opponent. So the Junkyard Plague will start off 1-0 here. We'll see what our prize is. I definitely didn't play that game well, because I wanted to cycle the land so badly that I didn't curve out well. Early in the game, we could have been hitting them much earlier than we did. It still worked out, because we drew just an immensely powerful card late game there. Really like that Archfiend of Sorrows. So we're on the play here with only 2 mana in hand. That's pretty sketchy. I guess we get to play Shambling Goblin and Ravenous Intruder no matter what. I'm going to take the free mulligan, though. It is a free mulligan. Here we have 4 mana in hand, but the cards in hand are definitely weaker. But I'll keep it because they're all castable here. So we are hoping to draw into some good stuff. But at least we have a pretty good piece of interaction, the Davriel's Withering, to clear out a small creature. Ooh, Boneyard Aberration is a pretty annoyingly powerful card. I've ran against this one time in Jumpstart, and that thing was just irritatingly good at mucking up the board, because then just 3 Reassembling Skeletons in grave is just real annoying. I think I'm going to discard a Swamp here. Ooh, what on earth is this? +1/+0 trample, and they can sacrifice it to do 3 to a target. Okay, interesting little piece of removal and equipment at the same time. I'm just going to cast our biggest creature, the Manor Guardian, here. Our opponent is on blue and black. They've cast an Elderfang Disciple, forcing us to discard, and a Shoreline Scout. That grabs them a tropical island, which is very fancy. So probably just attack with Manor Guardian here. We're blocking 3 damage if we block with it. We're dealing 4 if we attack with it. Alright, so we get to clear out the Disciple. I think we just cast our most expensive card here, our Blighted Bat. Make the most of our mana. We could also cast Lightning Spear and hold up Withering. Maybe use that on Shoreline Scout. I'm not super scared of that. I am scared of the Mara Reejery, because that'll buff all their other merfolk. So I think I'll probably Withering the Reejery. Do I want to trade with the Scout here? I guess not. It's only doing 2 damage a turn after this. Ravenous Intruder's just not very good. I mean, we're definitely going to Withering the Rejury. Let's just get that off the board right now. I think we just play the Death Toucher here. Throw Death Touch onto the Ravenous Intruder to make that a little better, which is cool. If they attack with Shoreline Scout, we're just going to take it so that we can crack back for more damage. Alright, blue-black dual land. Our opponent is on Merfolk in some kind of black deck that has a little bit of discard in it. Not sure what that packet is. Davriel. I feel like Davriel has been very common, which is pretty weird. So Merfolk and Davriel it is from our opponent. Well, attack Davriel with everybody and we have to discard one card, right? Whenever an opponent attacks you, they discard a card. Yeah, we have to discard a card to do that, but that's okay. Probably cast Destructive Digger this turn. So we're discarding... You know, I really might have to just discard this Boneyard Aberration because we're stuck on 3 mana. So I just don't know when we're going to get to cast it. But at the same time, Ravenous Intruder, a 1-2 here, is so low impact. And the Lightning Spear is also pretty slow, but having another piece of removal seems pretty good. I'm going to discard the Intruder and cast Destructive Digger. So we're hitting Davriel for 3. Apparently we have interrupted tea time, which is unfortunate for Davriel. He is not enjoying himself right now. Davriel number 2. Well, our hand is going to be just completely gone. But our board's going to be really good, so that's okay. If our board's just a lot better than theirs, we might be able to just kill them.
Loneliness can hurt.
Just sending all the combat damage their way. And I might as well play this spear, because like the thing is I'm definitely attacking this turn. I guess I get to kill both Davriels. I discard one card. Okay, never mind. I can discard the Lightning Spear to keep Treasure Keeper, because I just have so much fun with this card that I want to keep it. And I just have to discard one card here. So we do that, we kill both Davriels, do some damage to them, and we get to keep our Treasure Keeper now. Alright, clear out 2 Davriels in 1 turn. I guess we've accomplished that achievement. Sphylan from the Merfolk deck. Draws a card whenever it attacks. Tap to land here, not exactly what I'm looking for. Keep the Death Toucher back here to kill Sphylan if they attack with it. And we keep Destructive Digger back because they could block Digger and kill it without it damaging them. Alright, 3 cards in hand from our opponent. They can draw 1 card if they attack with Sphylan, but then they don't have any blockers up. Expedition Diviner, it is a 3/2 flyer with Ward 1 as long as Sphylan remains. And a tapped land, the Palaka Caverns. We attack all, they can block 2 creatures, they can block, take 3. Yeah, we attack everybody, they eat the Digger, trade with the Mana Guardian and take 3. I think it's worth it here. We're sacrificing Destructive Digger to get an extra damage. Oh, if they block the other way, that's what I would have expected. That would have been worse for us. This, I think, is just pretty good all around. And we actually drew a castable card, but I'd rather cast the 4-mana Treasure Keeper than the 1-mana Goblin. And at this rate, I have a 1-mana card in hand, so I want to keep the Cycling Land, because we're not going to need a 5th mana on board right now. They're at 1 life with 3 cards in hand. I think we should probably get there here. Subversive Acolyte is cast from our opponent. Just a 2/2. They have to pay 2 life to use any of its abilities, so that won't happen. 2/2 and a 2/1. Attack all, and that'll be lethal, so they do scoop them up there. Leading into a 2-0, I believe, for the Junkyard Plague. And now we get to take a nice peek at our deck and see what our rares were, because we didn't actually get to play with any of them, I think. Ooh, Priest of Fellrights. This card is really impressive. I've been terrified every time my opponent has played it, because it's 2 reanimation spells in 1. They sacrifice it, bring their best creature back from the graveyard, and then they can unearth it for 5 mana to do it all over again later in the game. Really impressive card. Very cool stuff there. So let's take a peek at the deck list before we close out today's video, see what our cool rares are that we didn't see. Mainly just the one in the Junkyard deck. Alright, looks like we got a Brea's Apprentice, which is a pretty neat card, but it is a card that I've gotten before, just out of the extra prizes. 3 mana for a 2/3 and a 1/1 flyer. Already just a good deal for the mana cost, and it gives you a really good ability to sacrifice your artifacts to either give +2 power to a creature, or temporarily draw a card, do that impulse draw where you exile the card and you have to cast it the turn you exile it if you want it. So pretty cool rare there for the Junkyard deck. Ooh, the Slag Strider is really cool too, especially the artwork there. But any card with affinity for artifacts is also just a cool card in my book, so yeah, super solid deck here. We never got to play around with the Yawgmoth, but Yawgmoth is just an incredibly powerful card, so that's fine. Either way, had a really great time with the video, and I hope you did as well. If you are enjoying these videos and you want to see more, you can like, comment, and subscribe to let the YouTube algorithm know you're enjoying the videos and want more sent to your notification feed or whatever. I don't know. As always, thank you again for watching, and I'll be back again very soon for some more Magic Arena.